I'm Melora. Welcome to my home here in Los Angeles. Come in.
This holiday season, get ready to unwrap the most magnificent holiday homes with Homeworthy's 25 Days of Christmas. For the month of December, we'll take you inside the most heartwarming houses, decked out for the holidays in true festive fashion. From twinkling lights and elegantly trimmed trees to sparkling ornaments and cozy holiday charm, these homes capture the warmth, wonder, and beauty that make this season so special. So join us as Homeworthy celebrates 25 Days of Christmas. The magic starts now.
Raise your glass. Cheers! Merry Christmas! Happy holidays!
You're watching Homeworthy, where we believe every home has a story.
Hi, I'm Melora Hardin. I'm an actress, director, artist, and now have a lifestyle brand, Storyboards by Melora Hardin. And I would like to welcome you to my home here in Los Angeles. I've always been acting and always been very lucky to merge through being a child actor into a teenager actor, into a young adult, into an ingenue, into a leading lady. For sure, it was The Office that changed everything for me. It made me go from being a journeyman actor, a working actor, to being someone that was recognizable. When people know your name, when they go, oh my God, you're Melora Hardin, and they know your body of work and they've looked up other things that you've done. That was a real change for me. And having been someone that's been doing it as long as I have, it was really quite a fun shift when I went from, are you on that, it was always, did we go to high school together? I feel like I know you, to, aren't you on that show, The Office? Don't you play Jan on that show? Aren't you Melora Hardin? And as soon as they say that, you're like, oh wow, okay. And then just other opportunities open up as soon as people know you that way. And that was, whatever that was 20 years ago that changed. And yeah, that changed everything. Well, I have my parking sign where I park my car in the back that says, this spot is for Jan Levinson, Michael Scott's girlfriend. I have the plaque, so that's there. When people notice it, they really laugh. That's fun. And then I have lots of other things that I would and could put up. I just did McNEAL on Broadway with Robert Downey Jr. and as our opening night, closing night gift, he made everybody the same poster because his face is an artist rendered picture of his face on the poster that says Robert Downey Jr. is McNEAL, and then it says McNEAL at Lincoln Center. So he did that exact poster, like my face. It says, Melora Hardin is Francine in McNEAL, Lincoln Center. So with the same rendering, the same artist. So that's really beautiful. It's also very big, so I have to frame that and put that somewhere. But I actually have a copy of it in there that you guys can see when we go into my workroom. This is my home. It was built in 1927. It's a Spanish ranch style home. We've lived here for 7 years. And yeah, we've done quite a few things, mostly decorative things because I love to decorate and because I've just started a new lifestyle brand. So things like the wallpaper that you see behind me, that is my wallpaper, Storyboards by Melora Hardin. And this is my upholstery, also of the same design, which is all wearable and livable art on the wall, art on the chair. It's my big collages that I then make with mixed media, photograph and print onto fabric or wallpaper or scarves like the one I'm wearing right now. starting here in the foyer of my house. I've done some holiday decorations. Over here I've got all these garlands and lots of glitter, and I love glitter, but I like it to be done tastefully, you know, sort of added some little red lights in there just to kind of pop it, and then some little sparkly snowflakes, of course with my scarves right here, and my beautiful little embroidered skull, which I love, and my tags, which are very cool because the tags are actually part of the design. You can like tuck them and everything. This is my hand collection. I've been collecting hands for years and years and years because of my father and just my connection to him and how much I love him and his artist hands. This is actually a cast of my father's hand, which he did for me because he saw my collection and thought, and knows the story behind it. So he gave me a cast of his hand. That one's particularly special to me. He also sculpts bone, so he sculpted me a hand as well. So this is made by my father. That's a beautiful hand. I have some amazing glove forms just from years ago. I also have some really fun old mannequin hands. This one is, I think, really beautiful and very graceful. This is soap holding a heart. Probably should use it one day. And when I was nominated for an Emmy, I got this one. I have all these little books. They are actually filled with some things, some personal things that I write, sometimes some little love letters to my husband in those books. This is also a beautiful antique piece from India that actually usually we have lit up inside. This is a very beautiful old English, tall piece that holds all of our placemats and napkins. It's super fun. I have lots of cloth napkins. I love cloth napkins. I think they make a table look beautiful. So I just made some cloth napkins of my design, my Storyboards by Melora Hardin design. Maybe I'll start selling those on my site at some point. Many, many different designs I have in here. Reds and yellows and whites and blues, depending on how I want to do my table. I have lots of options. I also have some placemats that my dad made me, which are super fun. Another example of his incredible talent too, because he loves the unicorn tapestries. So he took the unicorn tapestries and just made these with kind of the gold leaf and stuff. So those are fun placemats and always make me think of my dad when we're eating. He just turned 95 last week. He's incredible. My mom's incredible too, by the way. She's just not quite as, aesthetic and that as my dad is. She brings the heart. This is an antique carpet rug throw from my husband's aunt and uncle's house in England. This is also an incredible piece. This is a beautiful antique. Beautiful carvings in there. This is one of my collages that's called Smart and Strong. This is also pretty cool. This is an artist who makes things by folding the book. One of our real sort of themes and visual through lines in my documentary Hunter's Thunder is a butterfly and transformation and metamorphosis and all of that. So this was something that Hunter gave me for Christmas a couple of years ago. So now we're going to go into my living room. This is a very, very cool thing. This is actually a chair from Queen Elizabeth's coronation. My husband's grandfather was knighted 3 times by the Queen. This is a key that was given to him, and it has his 3 knighthoods on it. In 1952, he was given the key to Nuwala for bringing the railway to India. So he was knighted 3 times. That's a very unusual thing to be knighted 3 times. Usually people are knighted once, sometimes twice, very rarely 3 times. So they were invited to the Queen's coronation, and they got to take home their chairs that they sat in. And this is one of them, and Gildert's sister has the other one. So that's a pretty cool chair. This is a really beautiful tall boy, English tall boy from England. This has all of our china in it. We have lots of beautiful china because I've gotten some from my family. He's gotten some from his. This is sort of the everyday stuff that came from his family. This is the china from my grandmother, which is very beautiful, which we also have in the dining room. We also have some gorgeous white and gold china that we love to use on special occasions, especially around Christmas. So this is the beautiful white and gold china that we use for special occasions. And we have some beautiful tea sets. And we actually use all this stuff. This has plates and little beautiful things to go with it. I think there's more too, but we'll stop there. This is the cover of my second album. It's called Purr. All my original songs are very kind of tongue-in-cheek. You can find them on Spotify. And this was painted by a family friend who has since passed away, who I knew from the time I was 13 years old. One of my brother's best friends named James Anka. So he painted that. So that really makes me think of him, and I really love that. I think these are kind of fun. I really liked the wrought iron base of these. But then I had like for years and years I had a red regular lampshade on these. And the lampshade sort of got messed up. It was ready to be retired. And I thought, well, I'm going to recover the lampshade. But then I found these beautiful light bulbs. And I thought, it could just be that the lamp is the light bulb. I felt like they would go really nicely with the antique lamp that we have here from Gildert's family, which I just think is stunning. This is such a beautiful, beautiful lamp with a beautiful warm golden glow. And these make a beautiful warm golden glow. So I made the little skirts to cover up all the ugly stuff that nobody wants to see, the gubbins of the light. So I made like little velvet skirts with kind of a nice golden tie that I just sort of put there. So that's something fun that maybe you could do at home. This is a great little corner. This has a couple of my dad's sculptures. This is called the Hound of Hell. A lot of people ask me what this is made. My dad carves animal bone. He was raised on a farm, and when an animal dies and you bury it, it takes a few years for it to cure and become ready to be perfect for carving. But that's how he got started. And this is actually the skull of a horse. So you can see this is the nose here. This is where the eye sockets would go. And this is the skull. And so he added some rib bone here. I picked this when I was 12 years old. I'm a dancer as well, and I just love the movement of this. I love the passion of this hound as he's jumping and leaping. There's so much energy in him and ferociousness, and it just felt like he's gonna go devour life, and that's me. So I love that one, and I love that I chose it when I was so young. Even though he's called the Hound of Hell, I was sort of not detoured by the darkness of that title. I really was compelled because of how beautiful he is. This is a mask that my dad made. He has a whole series of masks where he put shells in here as the eyes. I love this so much. His art is so beautiful because, just every angle is really something so wonderful and so different. I really love it, all the details. And what's really nice about bone is you can touch it. It actually helps the bone to stay beautiful, to be touched. So that's a really wonderful thing. A lot of sculpture, you can't touch it, but bone likes to be touched. So that's a really wonderful thing about it. Here I have some other amazing art from friends. One of my best friends, Tatiana, made these two for me. And this was by an artist named Jed Ferranda, who I did a little short film on him that actually my dad is in too. It's called Screamin' Big Bad Fun. You can see it on YouTube. If you type in Screamin' with no G, Big Bad Fun by and Melora Hardin, plus Melora Hardin, you can see my film all about Jed Ferranda, who is a really interesting artist. And my dad, actually, they're in the film together. And he's incredible because he carves into magazines. Clearly I like brown furniture because I have a lot of it, but I do think that with brown furniture, you do need to be aware that it can really pull a room down if you don't have things around that pull it up. Of course, I like color, so I think the color really balances out the dark furniture. I actually think it would be a little imbalanced if I had light furniture in here. I think because I am so colorful, because this room in particular is so vibrant and red and blue and jewel tones, I really think the dark furniture balances it really well. I think other rooms you might want that, but I think in this room it works really well, and it works really well for the things I've inherited. But even the things I've bought, I mean, this Chinese, antique, I bought this long before my husband and I were living together in my own home. So I was already drawn to that. I bought that coffee table, which is a modern coffee table from, I think, Pottery Barn. I bought that years ago because I needed something that was like a chest, also dark furniture. So I'm drawn to it anyway, and the doors happen to be stained that way. So I think that it sort of adds to that indoor-outdoor uniformity and of the look of the room. I saw probably 30 homes. We were thinking of moving. We wanted to be in a community that was closer to where our kids were going to be going to school. We wanted a house with a pool and the place that the kids might want to come and hang out with their friends. But also I needed an aesthetically pleasing place. We love that there's a lot of land around this home. It's very private, but also this room was really the selling point. Besides the outside, which is really lush and beautiful and very private, this room really took my breath away when I walked in. It has these gorgeous vaulted ceilings, arched ceilings. It's a nice big open room. We love to entertain. I love to decorate. So it had all the things that I wanted. My style is really very eclectic. I really love color. I really love I guess I would call it kind of a classy maximalism eclectic style. I love antiques. I have lots of antiques, things that came from, my husband is British, and things that came from England, from his family, from his uncle and aunt and his mother and father, other people in the family that goes back quite a ways. We have a beautiful collection of antiques. I also collected antiques even before he came along in my life. So I really love to mix modern. I like to mix sort of the boldness of kind of what I'm doing with my art, my wallpaper, my fabrics, where it's kind of got this playfulness. It feels sort of rich and vital, but you also see sort of here, like there's skulls, it's got kind of a playful, modern feeling to it as well. And I really love the indoor-outdoor feeling of this house, and I really like to bring that in. I like to feel, California living is so wonderful because you are indoors and outdoors. There's doors all around here. We can really open them up. We can have a lot of entertaining. This is an amazing party house. Part of my wallpaper is to sort of bring the outside in and to feel like we're kind of in both places with the elegance of having a cozy, warm home. So we'll go deeper into the living room. This is my mantle. It's a nice, big, beautiful mantle where I can really do anything based on the season. Usually my dad's sculptures sit on each end, but when there's a season, something to do specific, I take everything off and I kind of use it as a display opportunity. This is a beautiful antique mirror that we inherited from my husband's family as well. And we had a fire here a couple of years ago during Christmas. I had candles here and I had all that fake snow all here, and I had all those paper houses, and a candle fell over and lit one of the paper houses, and we were all outside, and my mom happened to catch something, a glimmer. She was facing the other way, and she caught a glimmer of light in her eye, and she said it made her turn around, and this was all in flames. So luckily, everybody needs to keep a fire extinguisher by their fireplace, and because I'm telling you, that fire extinguisher stopped this blaze in its tracks, and without it, I think it could have just taken over the room and it would have just been so sad. Anyway, we had to re-gold leaf this. The mirror cracked. I had to get the mirror replaced and re-gold leaf the mirror. Luckily, I'm good at gold leafing and my dad is too, so we kind of did it together. So yeah, keep your eyes on your candles, people. And when we first moved in, I really thought that I might replace this because I don't love it feels very modern to me. But as soon as I kind of put my touch on it and put the antique mirror above it and all the different things that I do, I have to say I kind of decided I really like it because it's so neutral that it kind of works for anything. And it is such a beautiful, big space. It's such a big mantle, which I really like that. I love the wooden part of it. I just wasn't sure about this kind of nondescript marble. I was more intrigued to maybe potentially tile it or put stone or I don't know. Something that's a little more textured, a little more rich, a little warmer. But I don't think I'm going to do that. I think it's good. It's good the way it is. I have so much going on in here. It's kind of nice to have a spot that's very neutral. So I'm working with it. Okay, so here's my dog Lolly. She's also the star today. She's a sweetheart. We've had her since she was 9 weeks old and she's now 13. So she's an old lady, but she's still like puppy, sweet energy. So this is our little kind of music section. Our youngest daughter, Piper, is a singer-songwriter and currently at school for that. It's very cool. Our oldest daughter is also a musician. They both play violin and they both took piano, so this was where they would practice and play their violins. And I'm also a singer and songwriter, so sometimes when we have our Christmas party, I usually have a friend come who plays piano and accompanies all of us in carols, and I usually sing my Christmas song, which was written for me by Ben Toth and Nell Benjamin, who wrote Legally Blonde on Broadway, and it's a beautiful Christmas song called Come Home With Me for Christmas. It's on Spotify, so people can listen to it. It's a fun song. Add it to your holiday playlist. All right, let's go over here to my upholstered chair. I'm very excited about this chair. You're gonna have to do a whole circle around because every side is different. This is the first chair that I covered in my collage upholstery. I have since done 2 other chairs that I found that were a mess, and I made them much more beautiful. But I love the way that the pattern changes everywhere. Back here, there's tons of roses. And I love the skulls and just all the color. I really made this collage for this room because I wanted to bring in more blues. I eventually will recover this couch in a kind of ombre, very dark velvet that I have found. I found it in Ireland actually when my oldest daughter Rory was doing a movie there called I Kill Giants, and I went into this store and they had this beautiful ombre velvet that's like a very dark blue, royal blue that kind of goes into this sort of different, softer blues and ends up being almost white. It's just so stunning, but really classy. So I was hoping, I haven't been able to find that again, so I might have to go back to Ireland to get it. But that's what I want to do on this couch. That's happening in 2025, so that I can pull more of the blues. I really took this collage inspiration from this carpet. This is a Persian carpet that's probably, I don't even know, probably like 60 to 100 years old. It has a few little spots that are worn, but in general, it's in beautiful shape. It's an incredibly large rug. It's just very, very rich and beautiful. It has this incredible blue color, which I wanted to pull out so that I can have more blues in here. I'm going to cover that chair also in this collage fabric, which is called Royal Flush. And I'm going to turn it around so that all the stuff that's on the back of this one is in the front of that one, so that they have that fun. And then I'm going to put a couple pillows over here. This is the wallpaper. of royal flesh. So this is just so much fun. We just installed this recently. I've kind of had my eye on this wall for a long time because I wanted to have a bold statement here. I have my stained glass windows in the distance there. They light up at night. As soon as it gets dark, they light up, and that's a really beautiful thing. This is an incredible sculpture that my dad made for me, gave to me for my 50th birthday. It's just, I love it so much. It's incredible. Obviously, it's a horse. This is all chrome here and stainless steel. This is made out of, I think we have a femur of an elephant. There's some whale bone in here. There's some actual horse skull, which had to be amalgamated to make big and added to. So lots of incredible bones, animals, real horse teeth. If you look inside here, you can see some real horse teeth in there, and then some fabricated horse teeth. So these are real here, and then there's some fabricated ones if you look down the inside. I love the rope, and that he's kind of broken free, and he's wild. He's a wild horse. This is our Christmas tree. I love we always get a live tree. This one is, what is this called? This is a fir tree. I like pine too, but this is the one we got this year. I love the shape of it. All of these ornaments are collected over the years. I usually try to get one new ornament every year, but now we have so many that I don't really do that as much anymore. Let's see, I can show you, there are a couple special ones on here. Since we're doing things that I've made, I can show you. So this one I made for my husband, I think on our first anniversary. This is made from an actual egg. It's a chicken's egg, and it's covered in jewels, and it has two little lovebirds sitting inside. And I cut it out with sort of dental tools, which is what my dad uses to carve his sculptures. And they're very fine tools that can cut into an eggshell once you've blown it out. So that's one of our special ones. I got the idea from my mother's aunt, who had a little combination, a little collection of those, and that's one of the ones that she made, and that was probably from the 50s. So that was the first inspiration to do that, and that's why I did that, and I've made some for friends and my family. This is one of my collages hidden behind the Christmas tree, but that's a self-portrait of me when I was 12. It's sort of a fun, I think it's called Portrait of a Young Queen. It's sort of a play in just over the top, too muchness. It's a play of too muchness. That's what I was working on in that moment. Oh, this is also an amazing piece of art by a Canadian artist named Charles Forsberg. And I found this, he was working as a bartender when I was on location working in, I think it was Vancouver. And I went to this little place that had this wonderful food. It was a tiny little place, and he was working as a bartender, and he made me some wonderful drink. And I went back several times and got talking to him about his art, and went to his studio and chose this because I love to support local artists when I really like what they're doing. And I was collecting art before I was really doing my art seriously. I would collect art when I was working on location. This is another piece that I collected working on location, also in Canada. This is another artist that does all of these stone and marble hands, sort of joining black and white together. They're all kind of this same theme. And of course, because I have a hand collection, it worked for me. But I really, really love this one. This up here is a really cool painting from probably the 70s. It's a British artist. But anyway, we think that one is probably worth something. It's a really, really love it. Anyway, I particularly like the frame, which is so 70s. But I love that painting. It's kind of dark and mysterious. This is obviously our curio cabinet that has lots of china, and this is a horse that my dad carved me. These are cool because he knows I love horses. So this was the first thing he actually carved me out of a real horse's tooth, so you can see that it's a tooth. And there's the horse. He's beautiful. And then this was the second one that he made me, also a horse's tooth, a back tooth. And then he made me this one. He had a piece of ivory that was given to him years ago, and I'm not really into ivory, but it's sad, but he had papers on it and it was an antique, so he made me this beautiful horse, which I love. I love the holidays and I love to decorate. I spend a lot of time doing it. I'll show you the mantle, which I've done a lot of work on. And also in the dining room, I've done some beautiful things. I do some stuff in the foyer, and then we usually have our Christmas dinner outside. So I'm gonna show you outside the patio where the table is sort of partially, it's not really set yet, but you'll see that it's on its way to being ready for Christmas dinner. So here's my dining room. Lots of fun things in here. I mean, we could spend a good hour in here, but we won't. This is my husband's grandfather. He comes from a long line. This is on the other side of the family. He comes from a long line of pastors. So this is Pastor Gildert Jackson, grandfather. We kind of love that. Lots of wonderful antiques as well here. I love flower arranging, so I did a little arrangement for you for today. This was one of my first real purchases when I had my home, my second home, second house that I bought. We had a very tiny dining room, but it was a beautiful dining room. It had arched little windows, and it was just quite lovely. And so I really loved the idea of like walking into the dining room and it just being about this light, and again, this is a chandelier, but it's a modern chandelier, but it has a real elegance, a romantic kind of antique-y elegance, but it's actually a modern chandelier made by an artist here in Los Angeles. Some other amazing things. This is an antique mahogany table, and these chairs are carved, very old antique chairs that are lovely. This opens up into a very large table, so we can have really big dinners around here and have filled this entire room with the table and chairs on a very cold night. That's fun. I've had lots of very fancy and fun dinner guests here. Joanna Coles, who was the exec producer on The Bold Type, and my character Jacqueline Carlisle was loosely inspired by Joanna's character, and we became very good friends through that show. Of course, Katie Stevens and Megan Fahey and Aisha D have all been here sitting around the dining room table. So I love to have dinner parties and I love to have people over. And share food with them. This is a beautiful antique mirror that was given to me. I love these I found these 2 tall blue candlesticks, which can also be vases. I found these in a thrift store. They were really just sitting kind of hidden in the back, and I saw this pop of blue and I was like, I don't know. Anyway, I got these for a steal. Who doesn't love finding a steal? Who doesn't love it? Love a bargain, love a bargain. This is more of our china here this is my grandmother's china. So this is always really fun to use. It just makes me think of my grandmother, Yultima, my dad's mom, who was also very creative. I have a big mirror collection because I love bouncing light around. It's not really to be looking at myself, or that's why I put them at all levels. Like you'll see there's a mirror down there, like very, very low. My husband and I really wanted to paint this room a color that was sort of a statement. We decided on this cranberry red. It was between this and a kind of green. It was hard to decide because of my collage over here, which is called Castle Green. One of the things about my collages is that I work with real gold leaf. So this is like 14 karat gold leaf. I use diamond dust, which is basically crushed Austrian crystal, which creates those little highlights in the lights and in the windows up there, so that if you move around the collage, you kind of catch a little bit of light. And what I do is I tend to collage a smaller collage, and then I take a photograph of that, blow it up high def, collage on top of that, photograph that, blow it up high def. So this is really 3 collages, because this is also the largest picture, but then collaged on top. There are elements here that are collaged on top of this. Like, for instance, these forks are not in any of the other versions. A lot of the flowers are added. There's some new lanterns that are put in here, some more food and chocolates, and a few more dice. And this, I found this glass of wine. It was sort of a last minute addition because I loved that it kind of fit the right size. I put that in. Some butterflies that were added as a third edition of the third collage. More flowers. These are extra more flowers here. So lots of things get added in each version. So each version is completely unique. You will notice these swords above the entryway, which has a lovely pocket door, which I love because you can close it off and you can have, privacy if you need it. But I like to keep it open mostly. But these swords are, one of them is from Gildert's, my husband's great uncle from the First World War. He died on the last day of the war. And one of those was his swords. This is a picture that we found in the attic of Gildert's family home. He follows you. So wherever you are, he looks like he's looking at you. We love him. He's really pretty special. This is something I got from an auction in England. It's from Louis XIV, I think, time period. He has glass marble eyes and he just feels so, wow, I just feel like he's lived through a lot of time, a lot of moments, and I just thought he was really romantic. Surrounded by some art. This is my daughter Rory's art that she did, and some family members, some old pictures. This is sort of two antique little pictures that I loved. This is one of the first collages that I made that's in the documentary. And actually have blown that up to be very, very big. There's a lot of details in there, but it's so small that it's hard to see unless you zoom in like that. This one was the second collage that I made, and actually this wallpaper is in the hallway. When we go to look in the hallway, it is wallpaper that is behind the books, the bookshelves. So there's the dining room. I think I love when people come into my home and they kind of ooh and ah, and they want to get lost in all the little special things. People tell me a lot that, the home feels that it's full of art, and it is. And I think they're very taken with the boldness of the commitment to sort of what I'm doing, the statements of, the wallpaper, the fabric on the chair. This is a beautiful antique chair that came from my husband's family. It's really, really old and really fine chair. So to kind of cover this with a really fun fabric that's both beautiful but also playful and bold, I think people love the surprise of that combo. Yeah, people kind of will walk around and they kind of look at things. My art is everywhere. There's a lot of family pictures everywhere. There's a lot of warmth, and I think people feel that warmth and they feel excited, inspired, creatively inspired by the home, and welcomed. And so that makes me feel really good. So I'm just going to take you to the guest bathroom and the hallway, which now we are calling the library, because my husband just built these shelves, which are backed by my wallpaper, which is called The Jungle. And we have all of these books from, if you look up high, there's all these atlases and all of these beautiful collections of leather books and old books that came from his family home, and some of the books that we like and some of our favorite children's books that we read to our kids. This is all family pictures, and this nook I tiled myself, designed this whole thing and tiled it so that we could have a little nook there. Retiled this bathroom was, when we first moved in, it was very beautiful. The floor was very beautiful. The sink was very beautiful, but I didn't like anything else about it. I tiled this, I wallpapered here, tiled this and this, all of this white part, just to make it kind of come alive, and hung all the little mirrors and the little vases, antique vases there, which I put flower arrangements in so that it has a nice
warm, welcoming feeling. This is our guest bathroom when people come over for dinner or for a party.
I've been acting professionally since I was 6 years old, and my father is also an actor and an artist, and you see some of his art here. That's one of his sculptures there behind me. There's a few others here. I think I've always had the connection with art as well as acting. I really feel like my father had a wonderful balance of being a real journeyman actor. He was a real working actor all my life, but he always had his art for the downtimes, because any actor, no matter how successful you are, there's times you're really working, then there's times when you really aren't. What's really interesting about sort of the way that my acting and my directing and my art has merged is that all of my art and the collaging that I've always done, I always kind of thought of it as scribbles or crafting. I never really thought of it as art until this documentary that I've been working on. It's called Hunter's Thunder for the last 7 years. And my incredible friend and subject, Hunter Austin, really infused my art with meaning, because she started using my collages as part of her healing at a time that it was really, really dark for her, and when we were making this documentary early on. And once it had meaning, it sort of just blossomed and became something that I had no idea it had the potential to be. So I'm really grateful to her for that. And it's such a beautiful thing that organically came out of making this documentary, that where art and you know, sort of the two arts came together in a marriage that created this beautiful thing, which is now my lifestyle brand, my wallpaper. Who knows what it's gonna be? I've made a coat, I've made a skirt, I'm just blossoming all over, and people are stopping me and saying, where can I get that? And so I'll just keep going as long as people are interested and keep asking, and I'm just really passionate about it. It's an amazing, wonderful, surprising new adventure for me. I have so much creative energy, you wouldn't believe. I really am inspired by life. I'm turned on by being alive, by waking up every morning and being here. I love personal discovery. I love expanding my consciousness, expanding my vision. I have just immense curiosity about other people and what makes other people tick. I'm very visual, so I'm really inspired by nature, by flowers, by the sky, by something I might be driving by music, by my children, by my animals, my husband, my friends. I mean, really, there's an unending well of supply there, of inspiration. I can just sort of draw from it. I don't think I'm ever not inspired or turned on. I don't think you would ever hear me say that. I might say I'm tired. I might say I'm wiped out. I might say I need a rest. I might say I need quiet, but you'll never hear me say that I'm not inspired. So now we're going to go into my workroom where all of my art and collages are made. So this was the girls' den. Now they're both off college, young ladies doing their thing. And so now my husband turned it into my workroom, which is so great. I also have a studio in Montreal and work sometimes there too, in our little pied-à-terre there. But this is when I'm in LA, this is where I'm working. This is one of my collages called Red Angel Landing. I'm working on it currently. This was the play that I just was in, McNEAL on Broadway. That's me and Robert Downey Jr. And I told you about the wonderful gift that Robert made for everybody. This was mine, so that's kind of fun. Melora Hardin is Francine in McNEAL at Lincoln Center. So that's kind of fun. A play on here, what they did with him. All of my elements are here. This is my cutting mat. This is where I cut everything by hand. My wallpaper samples here, so that I can always kind of refer to anything that I need to look at. Here's my coat, by the way, that I told you about, with my tags, Storyboards by Melora Hardin. So if you owned the coat, it would say your name there, and then Storyboards by Melora Hardin is my tag. So I've been working on my tags, have them in all different colors on these silk ribbons, have been kind of just figuring those out. That's Lolly chatting. She wants to be part of the conversation too, per usual. These are some of my newer collages. I just finished that one. It's called Good Taste. This is Hunter's Thunder. This is the opening card for, that'll be our sort of title collage for the documentary that I told you about. This one is a really cool wallpaper design that kind of goes together as tiles in 4, so that you end up with a kind of beautiful tile in the middle there, where these flowers join together. This looks very beautiful. This is brand new. I would want to print this on silver paper, so the silver would come through in all those white spaces. This would be very beautiful in someone's house. These are all collages I'm working on. These are the ones that I did at McNEAL for my dressing room. This one's fun. I just made that one for my dressing room. It has all the cast names, the playwright Ayad Akhtar, the director Bartlett Sher, and just sort of the feeling of McNEAL to me in pursuit of magic. This is a really fun piece of an artifact that was given to me as a gift. It's Gene Kelly and Debbie Reynolds and Donald O'Connor all signed this. This was the umbrella that they used for their screen test for Singin' in the Rain, which is one of my favorite musicals. I'm also a singer and a dancer and made my Broadway debut on Broadway in Chicago. So this was something that we really played for the girls all the time when they were little girls, and we showed them Singin' in the Rain and all those musicals because we really kind of kept TV pretty down low. You'll notice I don't have a TV in the house. So we kind of tried to make it as TV-less as we could here. This is all my collage stuff. These are all the magazines that I pull from. You know, if I'm just feeling something, I'm like, what do I want to do? You know, I literally will just open a magazine and I'll kind of find something that strikes my fancy, and I might pull from that. Like for instance, like in this picture here, I think if I stumbled upon it, I would probably love to cut out those bricks. I really like the bricks, and would probably work with those. So, and here I love the texture of that mask. I would probably use that texture. These are all things that I just am looking for whenever I'm flipping through magazines, and obviously I have lots of magazines to do that with. So I have them all organized. My husband and I did this together. So all my Harper's Bazaar, all my Elle Decor, all my Vogues are over here, my Cabanas, my Vanity Fairs, my catalogs. I have old Life magazines. I have lots more of these too. I like to pull from these a lot because there's just some really fun stuff in here. Great colors, obviously, and just different feelings. So even if I were to use that hedge, it just has a different feeling than the newer stuff today. I love things like that where he's out of focus. I might use just his profile and take out all the products. Rare fossils, look at that. So, you know, there's some flowers, just some fun stuff that I might pull from. Even words, I like to play with words too, so I might do that too. So this is all my workstation, and there you have it. I think what I love most about the holidays is just this feeling of being able to just hunker down and enjoy my space, my living space, my family, my friends. That's where all my focus is. And there's a kind of gratitude in, I think, thinking about gifts for people, what I'm gonna get people. I love to give gifts. I love to get gifts, but I love to give gifts. I love to wrap gifts. All of that feels very creative to me, and it feels like a gesture of gratitude towards them being in my life, that I want to celebrate them and honor them and just sort of say, you know, I love you in a a token of my appreciation. And so I think that even the design, the decorating, all of that is sort of my gesture of sort of celebrating all the people in my life that keep me going and make me happy and just love me. It's sort of my expression of love in a visual way back. And my wallpaper is that, and my scarves are that, and my upholstery is that, and my coat are that. It's all kind of an expression of my joy of life, my joy of living and being alive, and the holidays really, to me, are very full of that. My parents did a great job of really making the holidays joyful, even when they had no money. I mean, it's really not about that. They were able to, my dad in particular was great at making things beautiful. If he wanted something, and he couldn't afford it, he would just learn to make it. He would make it. And so he has things in our home that are beautiful because he wanted that beautiful thing and he couldn't afford it, so he made it. So I think I learned that from him, and certainly that's his love language, is to make beautiful things and surround us with beautiful things in our home. I always felt like we were really, really rich, even when they really, really weren't. I think just because of that kind of expression. So yeah, for me, the holidays are about sort of really taking on that visual, that expression through the decorating, the warmth of the food and the table, and putting out the silver and the china and the lights and the tree, and all of that feels like love to me. So we're going to go outside to my patio where a lot of indoor-outdoor parties and meals happen. And it would be nice if I could open my door. There we go. Come on. So this is our beautiful outdoor space. We have a gorgeous pool and jacuzzi. We have a little fish pond over there. I have koi and goldfish in there. I love my fish. They're at the end there. We have like at least 3 or 4 outdoor spaces. We have that little space over there. We have a table and chairs and outdoor spaces there. And then this is kind of our indoor-outdoor space that we really use. This is where we have a lot of meals. This is where we'll have Christmas dinner. My whole family will be here. There'll be 11 of us. And my husband and I will cook. And this is sort of a centerpiece that I made, and we will have all of our silver out and all of our china. It's really nice on cold nights. We can close this, we can put heaters in here, and we can kind of make it even feel a little more warm and like you're almost inside while you're outside. My mirror collection, I love to bring the light in. This helps reflect the light and kind of pull in all the warmth of the light and make it feel alive and awake in here. That one has a little flower arrangement in it, and just some fun things down there. That's a big chair that I'm redoing. Yes, redoing that big chair. At the Rose Bowl flea market, I found that. Yep. And I was with my friend Hunter, and she got it for me for my birthday. My husband is incredibly tolerant of my creative whims. So he laughed, he loved it. He actually he was the one who stripped that for me. It was covered in horrible gray paint, and while I was away working on McNEAL, he actually spent many weeks stripping that because I wanted to, I think I'm going to gold leaf it. I have this incredible gold leaf that they use on the Trevi fountain, and then I'm going to cover the seat in a collage of mine fabric that I will make for out here, which is very blue and white and yellow, and I'll pull in all those colors and make something special for that, cover it, and then we'll probably put it out there in the yard as like an outdoor kind of ornament. And we will still sit on it because it's fun to sit on that chair. So when it's done, I'll have to send you a picture of it because it's going to be pretty beautiful. The word home means family and warmth and comfort and beauty and haven. All right, Homeworthy, it has been wonderful having you at my house, and now it's time for you to leave. Bye.
Thanks for watching. Go to homeworthy.com for exclusive content and shopping guides.